So you tell me your name and tell me about your company.
Hi there, I'm Leslie Berry. I'm one of our pilot recruiters here at Endeavour Air. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of Delta Airlines. We're here at Oshkosh today, and we're just going to tell you a little bit about coming to Endeavour and how that works for you.
So tell me what it would take to get hired at Endeavour.
What it takes to get hired at Endeavour? Well, you're probably going to be a pilot. If that's what you want to do, want to be a regional pilot here at Endeavour. Also potentially wanting to go to a major, you can do your time here. For Endeavour, we will need you to hit your minimum times, depending on what your background is. That is either 750, 1,000, 1,250, or 1,500s to get those ATP mins. And then from there, we would take you in to do some training for CTP before you come here to join us here at Endeavour.
What's the interview process like?
The interview process at Endeavour is pretty streamlined. So what we would do is we would have you join our website, sign up there, fill out the first officer application. You can do it from airline apps or from our internal website. I recommend the internal website as it's a little bit easier. From there, you would put all of your information, where you got your flight times, work history, things like that. At that point, your application has been submitted. It will get reviewed by one of our HR recruiters, maybe me. And from there, you will get a phone call from one of our pilot recruiters. The pilot will just be confirming all of your times, any issues that you have or hiccups that you had during flight training. They'll just talk all about that. And then from there, you will go in to come see us in Minneapolis. We'll fly you in. You'll have an in-person interview. We'll bring you in, talk to you a little bit about your background experience, talk about some technical questions, a little bit kind of what you have been up to, if you've been a CFI or you had a military background, what you did prior to potential flight. And then from there, it will be a decision made on if you are going to join us, and we'll give you a class date, or if it's not really the right time.
So how can they prepare for the interview? What kind of questions are they going to be asked?
Well, I think it is just a general interview. You just want to be prepared to talk about any of your experiences, past experiences, if you are a CFI, if you had other aviation jobs, just be able to talk about that. Talk about how you've worked in a group environment. Also talk about some technical questions. Just make sure you have that general aviation knowledge.
So when you're looking at resumes and the application, what kinds of things are flagged where you say, oh wow, this is a top 10% candidate?
We just really want to, I think not everything can be read on a resume, to be completely honest, but we just want to make sure that your resume is clean and concise. You do have all your flight times on there, if you've had any aviation jobs, if you've had any other experiences that might enhance your resume. You maybe have a military background, you've already done some fixed wing, things like that. I would just make sure that that is all listed on your resume, and just make sure that it is clear and concise. We don't need to see 4 pages of what's going on, because we are going to interview you and really just talk about those jobs in depth.
And in the interview process, what would set a candidate apart to be a top 10% candidate in your eyes?
I think just making sure that you kind of have some aviation experience. If you are coming out of a 141 or a Part 61 school where you were a CFI potentially, CFIs just show that you have that knowledge and you can transfer that knowledge to another person. So I think that is really great, because you'll be able to really explain that during your interview process. But I would say not everything is a top 10% candidate from a resume. So we just really want to make sure that you are able to really talk about yourself and your past experiences in your interview.
So talk about pay scales and duty times and locations, crew bases.
Yeah, so pay scales for us, when you're starting out as a first officer here at Endeavour, it is $52.19 an hour at the moment, and you are guaranteed 75 hours per month. You are eligible to pick up some additional time if it permits within FAA regulations, and also there is open time available, so it could be at 100%, 150%, 200%, really depending on what the company is needing. So that could change for you. With our crew bases here at Endeavour, we have Minneapolis base, a Detroit base, a New York base, both LaGuardia and JFK, Cincinnati and Atlanta. We do most of our flying kind of that Midwest to East Coast, also to Canada and the Caribbean, so make sure you do have that U.S. passport.
Excellent.
All right.